Caution: this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. I really wish I got that on recording. This man Logan just said, "What's the special word for 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 uh, for a special appearance on a song? A feature. Yeah, it's a feature." Whose eyes are those? You think whose eyes are those caused this earthquake? Damn it, they were all having fun talking about it. I thought back to what had happened during the earthquake. I'd been hit by an incredible shock. It was a sensation I'd never felt before, like my head was boiling over or exploding. That could easily kill someone, I thought. I looked at what was on the TV too, not just the internet. My PC had a TV tuner built into it. That was why I didn't need a TV in my room. We now know that the confirmed fatalities is 118, with over 300 people badly injured. That's an extremely high number of casualties. We're getting live video now from the front of Shibuya Station. Shimatani, what's it look like out there? There was another quake of this intensity in 2005. Not one person died. So how there are over 100 fatalities now? Hey, nigga, don't get too close to the truth or you'll get caught. Number of casualties doesn't necessarily correlate to the size of the quake. There could be any number of factors. We still don't have any details as to the cause of death or the state of the injured who've been taken to the hospitals. We've also brought in experts to discuss the heavy damage to magnetic media in an area centering around Shibuya.
地質学産業研究所より林原泰造先生、財団法人地質調査環境センターより小沢幹人先生にお越しいただきました。
We have with us Dr. Taizo Hayashibara from the Geologic Industrial Research Laboratory and Dr. Mikihito Ozawa from the Nonprofit Center for Geo-Environmental Investigation. Dr. Hayashibara, what caused the heavy damage to the magnetic media that we saw during this earthquake? The first thing I want you to be aware of is that there is a layer of magnetite. That is a natural magnet, 200 meters below the Shibuya area. It's classified as igneous rock, but we call this area the Magnetite Valley. It's a massive layer of magnetite deep below the surface. If you were to apply a large force to that strata, like the earthquake we just saw, the effects of its magnetic field could, in theory, do fatal damage to any magnetic media on the surface. Absolutely ridiculous. Dr. Ozawa, you see things differently? Yes, he's correct that there's a large magnetite layer beneath Shibuya. But this magnetite layer is far too weak to exert any real magnetic force on its own, particularly one large enough to affect this nigga as the next victim of the new jet killings. It's over for him. This is common knowledge, it's over for him. In fact, we've had plenty of intensity 5 quakes in the past, and none of them have done anything close to this. Thus, I think the logical thing to do is seek explanations elsewhere. I see where you're coming from, but it's also true that there are far too many casualties to write off what happened as a mere earthquake. Practically everybody in Shibuya has been complaining of headaches. It's almost certain that magnetic fields are involved. Are you seriously telling me that a magnetic field can kill 100 people? We'll be right back after these commercials. That shit got shut down. By Nozomi. Well, that didn't tell me much. The media was ignoring the huge white cloud that had appeared in Shibuya and reports of the sky turning white. They'd been reporting them at first, but now it was like they were being treated as if they never happened. I felt really creeped out. There were 2 ambulances there now, and the EMTs were unloading patients to carry them into the hospital. A doctor in a light green surgical gown and a middle-aged head nurse were giving them orders. There were several patients sitting around the entrance waiting to be seen, and it was clear that the doctors were having trouble keeping up. There were 2 types of patients coming in today. The first were the injured, who had blood dripping from their arms or foreheads, and their faces were twisted in pain. They were painful to look at, but they were being ignored for now. Priority was being given to the patients who were being brought in unconscious, but without any external wounds. An awful lot of people coming in after the earthquake fit that description. These symptoms have never been seen in an earthquake before. As of now, the doctors had no idea what caused him to lose consciousness. Another ambulance arrived, its loud sirens blazing. The technician got out of the ambulance and yelled at the doctor, who asked him for the patient's description. It's ISA. This one's your top priority! That was the only explanation. Most doctors would have complained. With all that was going on, the normal answer to being told how to prioritize your own patients would be go screw yourself. But surprisingly, the doctor and head nurse both nodded and helped unload the stretcher from the ambulance. Lying on the stretcher was Ayase Kishimoto. She was unconscious and moaning softly. The doctor and the techs quickly took the stretcher inside, ignoring the glares of the injured around them. Why the hell are you here? Standing a bit away from them by the main entrance of the hospital was a girl. She was watching them intently. Rimi Sakihara narrowed both her eyebrows and bit her lip. Kishimoto. The earthquake was concerning, but Shogun was a bigger deal to me right now. My headache was gone, but the fear was growing stronger and stronger inside me. And being alone was making me feel more and more depressed. There was still no word from Rimi. I tried calling, but she didn't pick up. Until now, Rimi would always... Until now, you were talking about how she was a demon girl and about how you hated her. Why didn't she come for me today? She said she'd... Oh my god, this nigga's... I gritted my teeth and devoted myself to setting up my computer. First, I had to reinstall my email software. I'd only set it up once when I first got this machine and then never touched it again, so I didn't remember any of my settings. I had to start by trying to figure out where the software and manual even were. It wasn't that big of a job, but before too much time passed, I realized I was covered in sweat. Several times I'd gotten so annoyed I almost gave up. But still, after an hour of work, 30 minutes of which was spent searching for the manual, I had my email back. I looked to see if I got any new messages. You've got mail, dork. Hot lolly college girls are waiting for you. My husband cheated on me. Whose eyes are those? Now recruiting, only 20 spots available. I had fun yesterday. Your next quarter's tuition. Mind-blowing sex. I'm a pervert. Be my sex friend. I can finally hear Sadatan's voice again. Hearing it just made me feel better. Like all my hard work had paid off. I had 8 new messages. All of them were spam. Wait, that I had fun yesterday is spam? That makes sense. Wait a minute. I was about to say, yeah, that makes sense that all of them were spam, but like, wait a fucking minute. There's one message I'm fucking forgetting about. I'm staring right at. That seemed a little unusual. It had a slightly unusual name for its sender. Fisheye. I let out a sharp moan. What the heliante was this? Some prank of... I apologize. It was an awful prank. If so, I felt like punching her in the face. A thon. If you know, you know. No, wait. Nanami couldn't have emailed me. She'd never contacted me through my computer's email address. When she wanted to talk to me, she used text like she just had a moment ago. I'd never even given her my PC email address. Was this just a coincidence? Sheer chance? Also, I did not read the text message she sent, so I'm like, you don't even know me. Nanami was a pretty common name, and Whose Eyes Are Those was so common now you heard it everywhere you went. I could easily see it being used as a title in a spam email. I decided to see what was inside.
結構な長文だ
It's
な。
pretty long.
さっきはチャットで
I
話が
enjoyed
で
our
きて
chat
楽し
earlier.
ちなみに送信者
By
の
the
名
way,
前
the
はダ
sender's
ミ
name is fake.
僕の名前は将軍
My
だ
name
よ
is Shogun.
え
Huh? Shogun? No
しょ
way.
将軍が
Shogun can't know
僕の
my
メア
email
ド知ってるは
address.
ずが
He can't? But what if Shogun could read my mind? If he could, maybe it would be easy for him to find my email address.
嘘でしょ
Impossible. I'm glad ISA survived. I was planning on using her as an victim in the next Nugent case, but I decided that suicide would serve my purposes as well. I'm impressed with you, though, Takumi. You've got a new high score. Very impressed. You are really special. Now then, it's Nanami Nishijo's turn. I'm hoping to make this one especially dramatic since she's your sister. Shibuya's in a nasty mood right now because of the quake. It's up to you to bring this to a moving climax that will make everyone feel so much better. It's kind of hard these finished on quest unarmed, isn't it? You're a hero. Don't you want a hero sword? Don't worry, I'll help you out. I read the overly weird thing. I read the whole thing. Its overly weird, friendly tone made me shiver. I like this. I like that I still have no fucking clue what's going on. I mean, because, like, he sent messages on the message board as Shogun while sleepwalking, so we could assume that he sent this email to himself as Shogun. We know that he can do something like that, or that some kind of fuckery ties him to it, because he's friends with Rimi, which might be one of her delusions if she has the power, but who fucking knows. Also, shit was sent to him from the future, from where he was sitting in number 37. So he could well just be Shogun fucking with himself from the future, split personality, but Shogun could be a separate entity using Takumi's body to fuck with him. Or it could be connected to Nozomi, and it could be specifically Takumi's version of the fucking with from Nozomi. And there's like a fourth thing, but I forgot what I was gonna say. He was crazy. What was all this? It's time to begin the quest to save Nanami. Come to the roof of O Front at 9 p.m. tonight. You'll be on TV, so try to dress heroically. Yes, did you get my present? Quest I scored. It was like he thought it was a video game. I'm not a hero. I'm not Nightheart. It was finally my turn to be killed. I wanted to run, to get out of here. Rimi, I had to get Rimi to protect me. Why couldn't I get a hold of her? Why had she been hurt? Had she been hurt in the earthquake? But Misumi hadn't said a thing when I met him earlier. I took out my phone to see if there were any missed calls or messages from her. Nothing. Where was Rimi? Then I gasped. The inbox of my phone, it had a message I'd just gotten from Nanami. Something amazing happened at school today. Somebody tried to jump off the roof. I was so shocked. Okay, I already read this. Yeah. I did read it, because I remember it now. I reread the email that Shogun had sent. Now it's Nanami Nishijo's turn. It's time to begin the quest to save Nanami. What's that mean? I'm getting Diamond on Siege tonight. What's that mean? If you know, you know. I guess I don't know. I need to call it right away. Of my phone's contact list, there was only 3 numbers on it. Home, Rimi, and Nanami. Whenever we met, Nanami was irritatingly insistent that I call her. It wouldn't hurt to finally call her once in a while, right? See, I like that even though he's a fucking faggot-ass bum who should be put to death, that he actually genuinely loves his sister. Even if he acts like he doesn't. I just hope she picked up, because if she didn't, I was never calling her again. Even if she got hurt in the earthquake and couldn't pick up something, I didn't care. See, that's what I'm fucking talking about. I pulled up her number and pressed the dial. I put the phone to my ear. There was no answer. The phone wasn't even ringing. I knew there was always a little pause when you called someone on a cell phone, but now the silence seemed to run on for an eternity. In every passing instant, I got more and more irritated. Come on! Good, she picked up. Huh? What was this sound? I pulled the phone away from my ear. It's her voicemail, isn't it? There was a melody I didn't recognize coming from somewhere in the room. Was that a cell phone ringtone? Just cutting in from the future to say I absolutely love her fucking ringtone. Whose phone was ringing? From the timing, it had to be. I shook my head. I didn't know what the ringtone Nanami used on her phone was, which meant there was no proof that the melody I was hearing was from Nanami's phone. None. I got scared and put the phone back up to my ear. Nigga booty incident. Please don't be some incestuous shit. Not if he hadn't picked up. Yeah, come on, pick up already. She picked up.
Nanami.
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 Nanami, it's you, right? Answer me. Where are you? Are you okay? Say something.
Nanami.
Nanami. Nanami.
実は
actually, huh? Something was wrong. I felt like Nanami was talking to me from somewhere nearby, not through the phone.
お前
Where are you
一
right
体
now?
どこに
She's gonna sit like under his bed or the couch.
上
Above.
上
Above. I looked up. I could see something moving above my bed. It was looked like a person squirming between the stacks of H boxes.
そこに
Was this? Are you over there?
見つかっちゃっ
You
た
found me. It was Nanami peeking out at me and looking a little apologetic. Has she been hiding there for how long?
だ何
What's so funny?
それより
Anyway, did you
車椅
see
子の
anybody
怪しい
weird
やつ
like
に
a guy in
会
a
わなかった
wheelchair?
か
Nanami got off the bed. I stared carefully at her to make sure nothing
えっ
was
と
wrong.
お兄ちょっと落ち着いて
Brother,
ってば
calm down, okay?
聞いてるんだ
I'm
答
asking
え
you
ろ
a
よ
question.
お前
Answer me. Are you really
そ
okay?
れって
You're talking about Shogun, right?
まさか
Don't tell me you
あっ
met
たの
him.
か
Where?
どこ
What
で
did he do to
何
you?
をされた
I grabbed her shoulders and brought my face right up to hers. She might be my but if Shogun had done anything to hurt her, this was my fault. Shogun had gone after Nanami to get at me. She was an innocent
ご
victim.
めん
I'm sorry. I felt so pathetic I started to cry. The people around me were suffering because of me. How could I call myself a harmless otaku? I was worthless. As a human, as a brother. I was trash.
お兄泣いてるのもしかして
Are you crying? Are you worried about me?
ごめん
I'm sorry.
僕のせいで
It's my fault.
泣かないでよ
Don't cry.
えっと
I didn't
困っ
expect
たな
this.
実は
Actually, that email from Shogun was a prank of mine.
は
Huh? I didn't understand what Nanami was saying. I just stood there in
つま
shock.
り
Shogun was me.
ナ
The
ナ
whole
だった
time.
お兄があんまり
You never paid me
ナナ
any
に入ってきて
attention,
く
so
れ
I
ない
wanted
か
to play a
ら
little prank to get
ちょっ
back
と
at you.
からかう
I
つ
guess
も
it
りで
got kinda out of hand.
だからね
Nobody hurt me, okay? I'm just fine.
全くピンピンしてるよお兄が泣くことなん
You
て
don't
な
need
い
to
の
cry about anything, got it?
お前
You. I felt so relieved. I couldn't believe she'd been tricking me like this the whole time, but I was so relieved that the tears just kept coming. Imagine this was the actual story of the game. A, that'd be lame, and B, that would have put his ass into psychosis! How could you? This would genuinely develop some kind of shit for him.
ごめん
I'm sorry, big
差し
brother.
入れ持ってきたか
I
ら
brought you a present, so forgive me, okay? With an apologetic motion, she brought out one paper deck she hidden in the... Oh, is it a porn mag? There are 4 little... Oh, no, it isn't. Okay. I'm sorry, I was just trying to think, what is the one thing that Takumi would actually want?
どう
But I
美味し
guess...
そうでしょまあ
I guess that's
当然
not
だよ
what
ね
she would do. She would bring him dessert instead of
お
feeling
兄
his
のた
porn
めに
addiction.
作ったんだからね
Good. Oh, you made them yourself.
ほら一緒に
Come
食
on,
べよ
let's eat them together. Nanami put the box down on the desk and brought out 2 paper plates. She put the two of the desserts on each plate.
ねえお兄
Hey,
ナナのこ
brother,
と
thanks for
心
being
配してく
worried
れ
about
す
me.
ごく嬉しかった
It made me really
お
happy.
兄に
Maybe you're not so
見たこ
bad
とある
after
じゃ
all.
ん泣いちゃったのは
You did look like kind of a dork crying like that, though. Quiet, you little lying sister. After being lied to and crying, my pride was in ruins. I felt like a moron.
でも
But
お兄が
I'm
ナナ
glad
の
you're my
お兄
big
でよか
brother.
った
She smiled at me. The scene just felt a little more peaceful than usual. If only that scene had been real. That's right. That was just a wishful delusion of mine. Nanami still hadn't answered, and somebody's phone was ringing in my room. It was a cheerful melody, the complete opposite of my own mental state. I felt awful. Nanami's phone had to be in my room. I couldn't think of any other way to explain it, and I couldn't avert my eyes from reality anymore. Did you get my present? No, that had to be a lie. There was no way this could be real. I lowered my phone slowly. I couldn't even blink. My throat was parched, but I still looked for the source of the sound. This time I looked around slowly. Slowly, my eyes landing on each and every object scattered about the room. I hated myself violently for not cleaning before. The place was in such a mess, I'd be able to tell where it was coming from immediately. Immediately, yes. Where was the sound coming from? This box. The sound was coming from... Please only be her phone in there. It was the size of two... Thought it was something I bought online, but there was nothing printed on it. There was no address label either. Okay, please, for the love of God, if there is anything that isn't just her phone, like her clothes, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. Has this big box always been here? Did it fall off the bed in the
Yeah.
earthquake? No. I've never seen this box before. I always opened anything I ordered right away too. If it was something I'd sold at an online function, I'd have it shipped right off after I wrapped up. I thought maybe Nanami had brought me some food or something, but I didn't remember her bringing me a box this big, which meant that in the hour or so where I'd been at school, someone had been here. I'm sending you a present. Hope you like it. My heart started pounding faster. I quickly checked the lock on the door. A cold chill ran through my spine. I didn't remember locking the door when I staggered out of the base earlier today. I never even thought about it. I'd barely even been conscious. Thanks to that terrible stabbing headache, the door had been completely unlocked for the hour I'd been gone. Anyone who wanted to could have come in. Had Shogun been here? Had he come to my home? I looked in the box again. The melody was still playing. Nanami's phone was inside. I gingerly picked up the cardboard box. It was heavy. Far too heavy to hold just a phone. Felt like it weighed about the same as a 500 milliliter bottle of juice. I hesitated to open it. Something felt very, very
こ
wrong.
んなの
I don't
開きたくないよ。
want to open it, but I couldn't think of a way to avoid it. I was worried about Nanami too. But she was still my sister. Nanami's phone was inside this box, which meant that someone had stolen it from her. It's time to begin the quest to save Nanami. That's what Shogun's email had said. I looked at the box. It was 7:30 p.m. I had just an hour and a half of debt until the designated time. Maybe Nanami was in danger? I had to open it. The sensation of my hair wouldn't go away. The sweat was pouring off my forehead. I wiped the sweat away with the back of my hand and let out a moan as I started to strip off the tape.
やだ。やだ。
No, 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 no. I whispered in prayer as I opened the lid.
やだ。やだ。やだ。
Inside the box was a lump of aluminum foil. They even put packing peanuts around it. Running back my terror, I looked inside the box, but there was no sign of the phone. The melody was coming from within the foil. Sweat got in my eyes and stung. I realized my whole body was covered in sweat. Please just make this stop happening. Why was I the only one this happened to? I felt like crying and complaining to somebody. I looked to Sarutan for words of encouragement, but she was silent. My head was so full of terrible delusions that I couldn't even imagine her speaking to me. I was so tense that my mind was on the verge of shorting out. The cheerful melody of the phone kept driving me on.
あ
I've
げ
gotta
る。
open it. I've gotta open it. I steeled my nerves and scratched the edge of the foil with my fingers. I closed my eyes, held my breath, and ripped off the foil. The melody was louder and clearer than ever. I was afraid to open my eyes. I tried to catch my breath, but it wasn't working. It's fine. It's fine. There's nothing to be worried about. This was just some prank of Nanami's, right? Any second now, she was gonna walk in and yell, "Gotcha!" Yeah, that's what would happen. That was the only explanation. She came in, I was going to scream at her, and then I'd never speak to her again. That's right. Tell me I'm right, Nanami. Please don't be a body part. I couldn't keep my eyes closed anymore. Staring into the darkness was just too much for me. The fact I couldn't see it was just making the awful delusions worse. So I slowly opened the door, my eyes, and saw. Please don't be a body part. Fuck! What I saw was a hand. A small, cleanly severed hand. It was holding the same monophone I have. And on the wrist,
へえ、かわいいバングルじゃん。じゃあさ、これナナにちょうだい。ひひ、お兄どう？似合う？
bangle. Its yellow band was stained red with blood. I'm afraid the next part of our discussion will be a little technical. You used to be a doctor, right? Explain it in nice, simple terms like you were talking to a patient. I'll do my best. There are hundreds of billions of cells inside the human brain. Narrow nerve strands extend between each of them. You look at them under a microscope, it's almost as if they're holding hands. But in fact, there's an extremely small space between these nerve hands. When an electric information signal is sent to the brain cell, microscopic neurotransmitters called dopamine shoot out of the palm of the nerve's hand. The palm of the opposite hand catches the transmitter, turning it back into an electric signal, which is then transmitted to the next one. The structure of the brain is, in essence, built around this repeating chain of signals. Our company's second generation NOAA 2 project interferes with this process. That makes it possible to feed fake visual information to the brain. Like a hologram. An hallucination. Hallucination is closer. And what makes it different is that this fake image appears completely real. The human eye, that is, the visual system is extremely interesting. The visual field of a single eye extends 60 degrees towards the nose, side facing the nose, and 100 degrees toward the side facing the ear. Our two eyes have an overlapping visual field of 120 degrees, or between 180 to 200 degrees if you include peripheral vision. As I explained before, however, there are dead spots in the eye. The visual system is the system most closely linked with the brain. Approximately 80% of our brain is used solely for the processing of visual information. This is something the Committee of 300 is interested in as well. Human vision contains many mysteries yet to be solved. There are over 1,000 different fields of research investigating the visual system all around the world, after all. The executive order that was issued several years ago in America, strengthening protective research. Did the committee pressure that into coming into being? It wasn't pressure, it was an act of selection. The Committee of 300 doesn't want some random researcher getting too deep into this field. Of course, similar orders have gone out not just in America, but the rest of the world's nations as well. My country seems to be especially lax in that regard, even that people like me are free to do so as we please. You seem to misunderstand. Why do you think we're here? You've already been selected. And that's why it's your responsibility to produce results. Results that will allow you to become more powerful than the committee. You were told to watch your mouth. No one must know of our true goal. Not even the committee. My apologies. Continue your explanation. The false visual imagery produced by NOAA 2 is turned into an optic nerve impulse and transmitted as an electromagnetic wave. This wave penetrates the target's skin and skull, acting directly on the dopamine receivers. In the analogy used before, these were the palms that catch the signal. Then, this image is used to fill the dead spots. People in areas with high GE rates are especially vulnerable to these pulses. The brain is in a confused state and so decides the fake imagery is real. This is the mechanism used to create something out of nothing within human vision. Using NOAA 2, we could, for example, easily cause them to see posters advertising your re-election all over Shibuya. But this only works if someone's biorhythms are in a heightened state. Using hallucinations to alter the human will. It's the same system as the silent weapons, isn't it? Under the right conditions, you can make the target see whatever you wanted. And that's the same power the Gaigala maniacs have. Correct. NOAA 2 is, in a sense, a mechanical Geigalomaniac. When it starts functioning as its theoretical predicted values, it will be able to match, or no, in the near future even exceed the power of Geigalomaniacs. But how wide of an area can it affect? Does it just leak electromagnetic waves everywhere? That would make it less suitable for general use. We don't want indiscriminate brainwashing. We need to be able to select our targets. Don't worry, we prepared a functional factor to account for this. Please turn your eyes toward the monitor. Who are these filthy men? We call them porters. You might call them our mind control squad.
彼らが背負っているリュ
The
ックの中
backpacks they
に
carry have
は
ports that can receive and transmit NOAA 2's
送
pulse
受機
waves.
するポートは
When the
信号を
ports
受ける
receive
と
the signal, they
リモートで
broadcast it
周
to the
囲へと
surrounding
放出する
area
のです
remotely. So they're walking terminals. There's essentially no limit to their range, then.
限定的使用も
And it would be
問題ない
easier to limit their use too.
状況は理解
I understand where we're at now. Continue your work on the
た
plan.
だし
But please refrain from any actions or statements that could cause the 300 to realize what you're up
あ
to.
とは何人
Beyond that, the number of casualties is of no interest to
ご理
us.
解いただきありがとう
Thank you for your
それ
understanding.
では
In that case, I'd like you to give me people I can use as porters.
手配しよう
They'll be provided.
と引き続き
That, and I'd like you to continue to exert control over the media.
全ては
Everything's the three of us we do for the sake of our ideals. Hey. Pushing away the... Taki!
タッキーねえタッキー
Hey, Taki!
聞こえてるっしょ
You can hear me, right?
うん
Yeah,
聞こ
I
えて
can
る
hear you, Sanaton.
あのさ
Listen, Taki. Let's quit this
ゲ
game.
ーム
Game.
ナナミッチはタッキー
I know Nanami's your sister and you care about her, but it's probably too late.
そんなこと
That's not.
そんなことないよ
That's not true.
だって
Think about it. If they cut off her arm, she'd die of blood loss, right? Maybe not in a video game, but in real life. Why? Why did Nanami have to? This is game over, I think. If you don't quit the game soon, more people will die.
でも
But
でもセイラタン
but
だ
you
って
fight bad guys too, don't you?
だって
That's because I'm an anime character. I stuffed the Sataton figure into my uniform pocket. I have to save her. I have to. I brought Sataton to keep me safe. Normally, I'd never walk around with a figure in my pocket. It might get damaged after all. Letting his wife be destroyed is the worst thing an otaku can do. But now I didn't have it in me to follow my own policy. I needed something to keep me safe. Of course, I might be dead by this time tomorrow. Oh, his scream that he did a while ago. That is why I keep the voice acting on. I want to hear raw emotional moments like that. I looked down at Sataton once more. Her head was poking out from my pocket. It helped me keep the tears from pouring out. Then somebody slammed into me from behind and I staggered forward. I looked back and saw a DQN type man looking at me, annoyed. But he disappeared. You can't cry without carrying out word. I looked around. I was in Shibuya Scramble Crossing. It was hard to believe that it was 9 p.m. on a weekday, particularly only a few hours after an earthquake where over 100 people had died. There was an ocean of people around me. Just waiting for the light made me feel like I was going to suffocate. There were people everywhere, on all sides of me. I didn't know why, but the media was out here too. There were people with big TV cameras stepping out onto the road, blocking traffic. The big lights they used for filming were everywhere. They were blindingly bright. All the chatter is suffocating. Several people who looked like newscasters were rapidly speaking to the cameras. There are a few officers in uniform trying to keep the pedestrians and media out of the road, but the whole situation was out of control. The road was almost completely shut down from all the people on it. Was there an event or something going on a day like this, at this time of night? How could they hold something like that on a day where over 100 people had died? Did they not have the common decency to call it off? Why were the media along with them? If it's people like this, Japan was doomed. Not that it mattered to me. I have to save her.
僕
I have to save her.
助けなきゃ
I have to. Shogunat sent me to Ofront, a building right in the middle of Scramble Crossing. It was the one with the Tatsuya and the moon dimes. I hadn't actually planned on going on my own, but I couldn't get a hold of Remy at all. And the police might still think I was an urgent killer, so I couldn't go after them either. I was running out of time and I tried to figure out what to do. In the end, I got so worried about Nanami that I came here alone with Satatan close at hand for protection. I worked my way through the crowds inside of Ofront. It was pretty crowded inside it too, but I was too distracted to even care. All I could think about was Nanami's safety. I headed up the escalator to the floor above. There are big windows in the Starbucks that let you see out onto the square below. When I looked out of them, I could see just how many people there were in Scramble Crossing. It felt like everyone in the crowd was waving their arms or jumping up and down. An ocean of dark-haired heads roiled and bobbed beneath me. It was way brighter than what it had been when I was down there. I started to wonder if all the lights down below were facing toward the building I was in. So, I don't think he ever mentions, like, Ayase's hair. So do Ayase and Rimi and Nanami all, like, do they all canonically have brown and black hair? And they just appear to not have brown and black hair to be more visually distinct? I wouldn't believe they dyed their hair. School probably wouldn't like that. Or do some people just have pink hair? And blue hair. And black hair that's purple in every fucking illustration. Whatever. Heart racing and the blood pumping. Every time I took the escalator up another floor, my heart started pounding faster and faster. I took out my phone and checked the clock. It was 9:01 p.m. Shogun got mad I was late and killed Nanami. I shivered and ran up the escalator, pushing past the people in front of me. Halfway up, I switched to using the elevator and took it to the top floor. I didn't know how I was going to get up to the roof from there, but I wandered around for a bit, trying to make sure nobody saw me, and eventually found an emergency staircase. I managed to get to the roof without anyone saying anything to me. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. The wind was blowing hard on the roof. It felt strangely warm. Considering it was the end of October, I quickly realized that it wasn't natural wind, but the air blowing from the air conditioners on the top of the building. I fastened the button on my pocket so Satatan wouldn't blow away. Thanks, dork! You're
どういたし
welcome.
まして
Hearing Satatan's voice in my brain made me feel a little better. As long as I had Satatan with me, I wasn't scared. That's what I told myself over and over again. That said, it was awfully dark up here. The only light was the neon O-front sign, which I was now seeing from behind. And the neon lights on the other buildings were so bright that it was hard to see around me. If somebody was hiding up here, I'd never be able to find them.
遅かったね。
You're late. Somebody suddenly spoke. My heartbeat had been starting to slow, but now it flew back up to top speed. I looked around, but it was too dark to see where the speaker was. I heard a sound. It was the creaking sound I'd heard so many times before. This time, I slowly trained my eyes on the darkness in front of me. I could barely make out the outline of a wheelchair's wheels against the light. Stephen.
ようこそ。
Welcome, Takumi. The voice was friendly as it said my name. It made me feel sick. I didn't want to talk to Shogun. I was scared. I wanted to run away here from now.
じゃあ逃げちゃう
Let's run away then.
このままじゃタック
He's going to kill you if you don't run, Taki. But
君
Nanami,
はすごく勇気
you're a very courageous man. You came here all by yourself like I asked. You have my thanks. Wait, something was wrong with this Shogun. Something was different than before, right? His voice. His voice wasn't right.
その声
Your voice.
声なんて
A voice. It's just a vibration of the air.
どう聞こえる
Any number of things can change how it sounds. Am I wrong? What was going on? His voice was changing more and more. Was he using some kind of machine? Maybe he didn't want me to identify his voice. At this point, why bother? What he was saying didn't make any sense either.
混乱させよう
Taki,
としてるん
he's
さ
trying to confuse you.
油断しちゃったね
Don't let your guard down and don't listen to him. That's right, Satatan was right. Satatan was always right. Always. I put my hand over the pocket I was keeping her in and squeezed tight.
な
Where's
ナ
Nanami?
どこ
I was so afraid. My heart felt like it was about to burst out of my mouth. I forced myself to speak anyway. I thought stuff like this only happened on TV and in video
ナ
games.
ミは
Is Nanami already dead?
うん
No. No way! He cut off her hand, right?
もし生きてるにして
Even if she is alive, she'll still die from blood loss any minute now. I started to cry. I could see Nanami's puffed up pouting face in my mind. She was annoying. She was so obnoxious. But still, I was so sad. So sad I was crying. Nanami. Nanami is my little sister. I cared about her. Why did you kill her? How could you? You think she's dead? That might have been somebody else's hand, you know. Huh? The bangle on the phone might have been hers, but how do you know it wasn't somebody else's hand? Nanami was alive? I'm telling you, don't believe him. If you can finish the quest, I'll give her back. I'll give her back to you alive. Quest, there was that word again. Did you think this was a video game? But the real me wasn't a hero. If you fail the quest, she's never coming back. His face suddenly grew cold as a blade. I felt so stupid being afraid of such an old man, but he was crazy. He was a Nugent killer. So make sure you finish the quest and don't disappoint me. I know you can do it. Why me? It didn't have to be me, right? It has to be you. But why? Because you were chosen. Chosen. Don't misunderstand him, Taki. He means you were chosen to be the next victim. I remember the horrible fates that had befallen the other Nugent victims, and Shad shivered. You remember what happened this afternoon, right? Afternoon? You saved Ayase Kishimoto at school. Shogun's email had talked about her attempted suicide. He must have been watching from somewhere. Or maybe he'd mind controlled her into trying to commit suicide in the first place. Ayase only survived because she landed on that flower bed, correct? Shogun knew about the power I supposedly had. There was nobody that found anything strange in the slightest about that flower bed. The only one who'd known what happened was Senna, and Senna had said this to me. Stop creating errors. It was your delusion, right? Taki, trying to make him think he's wrong. That's right, it was possible that Shogun was only after me. Only trying to kill me. Because of this power he thought I had. If I told him I didn't have it, maybe he'd let me go. I don't have the power you think I do. Power? What power? I haven't used the word power a single time. You don't have any power, Taki. You're just a creepy loser otaku. You don't have what it takes to be a hero. You're just a harmless dork who never leaves his room and jerks off to me all day. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I'm not in the high school girls, but maybe Satatan is WFAPS. Who knows? I'd like to apologize for that. She was right. I didn't have any power. That was just a stupid kid's fantasy. After all the things that Senna and Ayase had said, I'd started to believe it was real. But the two of them were clearly crazy. I was stupid to believe anything a crazy person said. Hadn't Rimi said it was all a delusion anyway? Why don't you tell me more? About that flower bed, for instance. Do you have any proof that I did it? I don't have the power to make flower beds appear out of nowhere. So, the flower bed appeared out of nowhere. Everyone else thought it was there from the very start. Should've just kept your fucking mouth closed, nigga. But you are aware of the fact that it was never there. I might have dug my own grave there. Ah, shit. No. What was Shogun saying? Who was Shogun anyway? If he knew the other students and teachers were saying, had he been there to hear from them? I don't even have any power. I don't know how I did it. But you did it nonetheless. Your delusion became reality. Don't let him trick you. Taki, do you feel like you really have that power? And that stuff only happens in anime. And you live in the real world. The flower bread, the way Ayase explained too. Can you believe that they were real? You can't you? Did you touch Ayase when she split? I didn't. You might have just been seeing things. Her nipple is just staring me in the eye. You were really freaked out then because the police and you were after you. Then what about the flower bed? It's the same thing. The flower bed was always there. There is no war in Ba Sing Se, and Donald Trump is not in the Epstein files. When you went to school looking for Rimi, your head hurt and you could barely think. Before Ayase fell, did you really look and see if there wasn't a flower bed there? Nobody else thought it was strange that a flower bed just appeared out of nowhere. So how do you know it wasn't there from the start? You were just mistaken, Taki. Don't let Shogun fool you.
花壇は
The flower bed was
最初
always
から
there.
そこにあった
I repeated what Sadatana had said.
最初
I thought it wasn't there at first, but I was wrong.
僕の
It was just an illusion my mind made up. Look, everyone said there was always a flower bed there, right? It wasn't any kind of weird power or anything. I was just wrong. No, you have that power. You got that fucking power, boy. You gonna own up to it or I'm gonna put belt to ass. Am I wrong?
死にたく
I don't want to die. Am I wrong?
バカ
I don't know. Please don't kill me.
君は自分の
You should be more aware of the fact that you have a God-given power.
するべきだ。その潜在
Your latent potential is unbelievable, Takumi. You can change the world. Sekai is in your hands. Unc thought he was tough. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go back to the base and grind Nia-san until I passed out from exhaustion. I wanted to leer at my Saturn figurine and watch Blood 2 on an endless loop. That's all I ever wanted, so why? Taki, run! I'll stay with you forever. I'm the only person in the whole world who's on your side. So just keep running. Go home. Cut off all contact with the 3D world and just leave to have fun. Now then, I think we've talked enough. It's time for you to begin your quest. First, go somewhere you can get a good look at Scramble Crossing. You have to run! He's really gonna kill you! Did you not hear me? I said go somewhere you can look down on Scramble Crossing. His voice was soft but incredibly cold. There was a sharpness to it that made him impossible to disobey. What do you want? My legs were shaking. I couldn't move. I wrapped my arms around myself and hugged tight. Should I do what he said or not? I didn't have it in me to even decide. You're not going to do what I tell you? If you don't, I can't guarantee what will happen to Nanami. She's already dead. You're trying to ruin my fun, but it's already too late to save her. There's something already done. You'll just die for no reason, and you're so stuck.
ねね
Let me hear her voice.
聞かせて
Squeaked out the words, but Shogun ignored me.
必要はない
There's no reason for me to do that. You should think a little more about the situation you're in.
考えた方が
Ugh. I didn't want to think about the chance that Nanami was dead. I didn't want to imagine her dead. It felt like if I imagined it, it might really happen. I gave in and moved somewhere I could look down on Scramble Crossing. The ground around my feet was dark. It felt like I might trip if I wasn't careful. There was a acrylic board on the side of the roof facing Scramble Crossing, acting as a wall. It was about 3 stories high. When I got close to the wall, I could hear the chaos at Noah below me. There was a female voice that seemed much louder than the others. It was the one coming from the big TV. There's an open space in the wall. Do you see it? I looked at the wall, wiping away the heavy sweat from my forehead. He was right. There was a hole big enough for a single person to pass through. It was a strange shape like it had been smashed open. Someone clearly had done it deliberately. Of course, there was nothing on the other side. It was a sheer drop of an 8-story building.
から顔を出し
Peek out and say hello to the crowd below. Huh? What did he just say? Do I need to tell you
そ
again?
の穴から
Lean out from the hole and wave to the people.
手を振ってあげて
He couldn't mean. See, he's going to kill you! I gulped. Is that how he'd made 5 people jump to their deaths? Sedatan was right after all. I had no choice left but to die. I had to jump.
そんな
No! No!
すれば
If you don't, Nanami will die. If you do, you'll die! What was I supposed to do? I tried to think of the best option, but with every thought I had, the worst case scenario came to me in the form of a delusion. Somebody save me.
鬼のバカ
Big brother, you jerk. Nanami's voice echoed in my panicked ears. You jerk. I could see her smiling in my mind. It was my fault. Nanami had nothing to do with any of this, but Shogun had kidnapped her because of me, and even cut off her arm. I'm sorry, Nanami. I'm sorry. I wiped tears away. They came back, and I wiped them away again. And then with blurry vision, I slowly walked to the hole. and gingerly peered out over the edge. There was a sudden cheer below me. It was so loud it sounded like an earthquake. Big crowd in front of the station, the media too. They were all here for some event that was about to start. Suddenly a bright light assaulted me. I narrowed my eyes and looked away. I could see the big TV on the building over, and the person on it was... me. Me? Big TV showed me my own face covered with tears and my mouth wide open like an idiot. Even my posture looked terrible. At first I thought I was seeing things, and then I thought somebody was secretly recording me and I shivered. Even though I even thought that maybe it was an image that Shogun was stealing from my mind. And finally, I hate heights. I realized that was a video of me being taken right at this very moment. There was text in large letters running across the bottom of the screen. Live from Shibuya Station, the amazing Psychic Boy. More text was scrolling beneath it. An emergency live appearance was Psychic Boy personally vouched for by Yuri Brightman, the greatest psychic of the 21st century. Will he use his powers to find the Nugent killer? Finally, I understood. The media and the gawkers in Scramble Crossing were all looking at me. Don't look at me. Why were they all looking at me? Psychic Boy? What the heck? Didn't they all know what happened today? There was an earthquake. It was an intensity 5 quake. Over 100 people died. So why were they all getting excited over a weird loser like me? Shogun. Shogun must have brought them all here. They were all being mind controlled. I remember now how I'd seen Ayase fall this afternoon. In front of this huge crowd, with all of Japan watching on live TV, and everyone waiting to see what I would say. I would be forced to jump, and then there'd be nobody left to tell the truth. Dead men tell no tales. The Psychic Boy who tried to identify the Nugent killer turned out to be the killer himself. A shocking conclusion. What an incredible twist ending. They come up with a story about how I killed myself to atone for my crimes. And the Nugent murders would end with a shocking video. My own body would slam into concrete, and my limbs would twist to impossible angles. My brain would splatter out the shattered skull onto the concrete, and the whole country would see it. Nothing the less would satisfy the viewers. That's how entertainment worked. It was so shrimple. All I had to do was die, and everyone else would be happy. Not just everyone else. I'd be happier that way too. If I died, I'd never have to suffer or be scared again. Time to kill myself. I should kill myself. I was going to kill myself. And I meant that too. It wasn't just something I was saying. The answer was so simple. I suddenly felt so much better. Feeling better than I had in ages, I flung myself into the sky. The night sky around Shibuya Station spun and spun. I fell. I could feel the wind on my whole body. It felt so good. Look, everybody. I'm a bird. And I'm walking away. I'm walking away. You'll never catch me. You'll never catch me. Because you cannot catch a bird. What a loser. What a creep. No. I don't want to die. I was scared. I thought I would miss myself in the fright. I never felt death so close. I thought I was going to pass out, like a child having a tantrum. I don't want to die. I was crying and sobbing. I thought that maybe if I cried enough, Shogun would let me go. Maybe the crowd below would have sympathy and come to help. Maybe the police would realize I wasn't a killer, just a harmless, dorky loser, and come to save me. Maybe my parents were watching at home and they'd offer to take my place. Maybe Rimi would be out of nowhere and take me. Maybe I'd wake up and find out it was all just a dream. I shook my head desperately, screaming again and again. I didn't want to die, but take one step back, and Nanami will die. Shogun's tone hadn't changed. You're already out on stage, and don't you think it's the perfect stage to awaken? All those people down below have the highest of hopes for you. If you betray them, they might start a riot. They might come to kill you. Fearing that I couldn't step back or even turn around. Forget him! He's just trying to scare you. Taki, Nanami is already dead. You could run away right now and nobody would blame you. But I want you to focus on what you see. Shogun's voice was so completely calm. But it had a force behind it that brooked no disagreement. I only want you to do one thing. I can't jump. Oh, die. Nobody asked you to jump. What was that what you wanted? That I did have to die? I want you to stand right where you are and find your D-sword. Find my D-sword? How? I looked so hard for it, I never even come close. No, you didn't, nigga. How the hell was I supposed to find it here? The D-sword is a blade forged from delusions. That should be enough of a hint, right? No, I don't understand. Don't let him fool you, Taki. There's no such thing as a D-sword. There's no such thing as delusions becoming real. I can't find it. You have made contact several times with people who had D-swords. Am I wrong? They would have told you how to find a D-sword. Think back to what they said. This sword controls fate. This sword is a convergence of sorrow. This sword allows us, you and me, twin, to interact with a higher plane. Another space, you might say. Another possibility that exists within our dimension. Or perhaps a delusion. What you call it doesn't matter. The one thing that's certain is this sword exists in this space. One day, I just had it. I didn't notice that at first, but I changed the way I looked at things, and I understood. Maybe you can already see it. You just don't. Doubt the world. Learn how it works. Is what you're seeing truly real? It is possible to turn delusions into reality. You slip something that's not real into everyone's vision. In other words, you make people think that the error is real. That's right. You've been given many hints. You should be able to see it already. Is that it right there? He hidden the D-sword somewhere in front of me and he wanted me to find it? If I find it, will you let me go? If you don't find it, you won't be able to clear the quest. You need to get the sword. And while following the rules too, don't take another step back. That was impossible. How was I supposed to get the sword without being able to move from up here? What did Shogun even want me to do? He's just asking you to do the impossible, so I have an excuse to kill you. If you can't do that, then Nanami is as good as dead. Let's run away, okay, Taki? Let's go home. But if I take a single step back, he'll kill Nanami. Listen to me. Nanami's already as good as dead. He said he wouldn't hurt her. And you believe him? He might be lying. I looked carefully at the scene in front of me. Lights made it hard to see anything far away. Where? It's like watching. It's like Steve asked me where the fuck the Blue's Clue is. Where's Blue's clue to what she wants to do today, Boo? I tried to look at my surroundings as much as I could, but there wasn't much I could see from here. Most everything was hidden by the buildings around me. I had to find it, the sword. It's impossible! Thought back to what Ayase and Senna had said. What did they mean? But I changed the way I looked at things, and I understood.
本当じゃないもの
You slipped something that's not real into everyone's vision. Then, I thought back to the patterns on the ceiling of my room at my parents' place. I always looked at them, up at them when I was trying to go to sleep. Thought to myself that the knots in the wood looked kind of like a human face. Once I'd started to see a face there, I couldn't see it as anything else but a face. Right. Your eyes playing tricks on you. There are knots like that in every piece of wood. That's right. This wasn't like a pattern in a piece of wood. Cut it out. Shogun's voice was as calm as a whisper. When you used to see the sword, cut it out. You have that power. What's he even talking about? He's just making crap up.
妄想は
It's possible to turn delusions into reality. Like that flower bed? Like the second eye say? But the last time I tried to create a real D-sword out of my delusions by using a fake one, it hadn't worked. I turned my head from left and right. I looked out at everything I could see from where I was standing. Pose on me, left and right. Wait, is that a fucking love hotel back there? Man, where's the D-sword? I saw a sword. I saw a sword clearly. If I could move from here, I could go get it.
君には失望
I'm
した。
disappointed in you. What? It's pushed from behind hard. At some point, someone had gone behind me. I hadn't noticed him at all. It wasn't Shogun. I hadn't heard the creaking sound of the wheelchair. And who was it? The night sky around Shibuya Station spun and spun. I felt closer. I could feel the wind on my whole body. The ground got closer. I could hear screams, no cheers coming from the people around me. What was this? Was this the end? Was my life over? No. No. Splat! Oh. Taki's dead. Yes, I see the sword. I faintly see the sword. I only kind of saw a sword. Yes. You could see the sword someplace that wasn't here, too. No. It's not actually a sword. Yes. I saw it. Okay, I'm happy I did that because I was about to give up and cheat. But I'm happy I did that. But also, it's so funny. It's like fucking Dora asking where to go next, and it's right in front of you. Just where's Blue's Clue? Also, as I looked out into the night, the light warping and twisting through the tears in my eyes, I found a spark that looked like a sword. Ayase was right. I hadn't noticed it at first, but when I changed the way I looked at things, suddenly it was there. I didn't care if it was just a coincidence or not. The more I started to see it as a sword, the more it contrasted with its surroundings. Finally, it became more and more real, standing out against the scenery around it. Even its outlines were gradually becoming clear. You found it, didn't you? Shogun must have noticed my shock because he spoke almost immediately. Now reach out and cut out the sword. Don't think about it too hard. I know you can do it. It's impossible! No, Taki. If you do that, you'll fall, and if you fall, you'll die. I looked below. The crowd below me was huge. The ambulances weren't here yet. It was just like this afternoon. They were too slow. Of course they were. The earthquake this afternoon had been devastating. I can't cut it out. Don't let your preconceived notions control you. If you start by thinking you can't do it, you'll never be able to do anything. Throw away common sense and see things as they are. You have the power. The world will answer it. Just like it did with the flower bed. Can I really do that? Could I really get the sword just by reaching out to the truth? Maybe it was worth a try. Ayase had said the D-sword would save me. Maybe this was what she was talking about. I could get the sword and finish the quest. Nanami would come back alive and Shogun would leave me alone. I'd go back to my normal, peaceful life.
そんなに都合よ
Do you really think it'll be that easy?
将軍があっさり
Do you think Shogun will just let you go?
だって相手は
He's killed 10
10
people.
殺人鬼なんだよ
Shogun wouldn't try to make me do the impossible. I could do this. That's why he was telling me to do it. Because he knew I could. Okay, wait. There was 5 students. And then the pregnant man, the baby inside of him, the mother of the child, the nigga the nigga in the bathroom, the doctor, and the nigga who was crucified. That's 11. Fuck you. I mean, unless we're not counting the unborn baby as a person, which, I mean, fair enough. Fuck that baby.
あいつはタッキーを
He just wants to kill you. But I mean, since the mother was carrying the baby, carrying is such an icky word for being pregnant. Since the mom was pregnant with the baby and the baby was about 8 months old, it's clear that the baby is at a point where it is wanted in this world. So it's a person. He just wants to kill you. Did you forget about the group die video? Shogun drove 5 kids to their death without even touching them.
落死させたんだよ
I hated to disobey Sarutan, but still, I needed to reach out to the sword as if seeking salvation. The people below gasped. Thousands of people in the packed crossing were watching my every move. If you include the people watching on TV, there might be millions or 10 millions. I felt like I was going to throw up. The pressure of having so many people watch me threatened to shatter my mind like glass. No. Don't think about it. Think about it, and you won't be able to move. Now focus on the sword. I reached up from where I stood, keeping a close eye on my footing. I focused on the sword and tried to grab it. I couldn't touch it. The wind was blowing hard. It was coming at me randomly too. One moment it would blow from the front, and the next it would slam into my body from the side. I was grabbing onto the acrylic board, but it was so slippery that it wasn't doing me much more than making me feel a little better. If I had the slightest lapse of concentration, I'd fall off. Still, I desperately tried to grab the sword, but no matter how many times I tried, it just wouldn't work. I can't do it! It's not a real sword. The tears came back, my vision blurred again, and the faint sword-like thing I'd seen a moment ago began to dissolve. I quickly wiped away the tears and felt like I just lost, I lost sight of it. I'd never find it again. Then reach out farther. Damn it, didn't he know how dangerous this was? He bit my lip and held back my tears. Reached out further than before. I still couldn't grab it. More. I fell here. Looked down again. I was higher up than I thought. I felt like I was going to get dizzy. The imp pulled back and clung to the acrylic board. What's wrong? Get the sword. Now. If you don't, you'll never see Nanami again. I shouldn't have looked down. I couldn't stop shaking. I was worried the shaking would make me slip. I was completely terrified. I can't do it. Please let me go. It's not a smart idea to try and waste my time. I'm not here to play games with you. Get the D-sword, and if you can't do that, your little sister will die, and so will you. That's all there is to it. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Once again, I stretched out my arm for the wall. I could see the world sword there still. I tried again and again, but it was no good. I was so close. Why could I reach it? I leaned out further. It stretched my whole body. I reached fire. My hands would go towards the sword. I even stretched my fingers as far as they would go, and slowly clenched my hand. Once again, nothing. I can't reach it. It was impossible. Sedaton was right. That sword was half invisible. There was no way to even grab it. It looked like it's an enormous size because it was so far away. It had to be incredibly huge. No human could hold a sword that size. Once you have the sword, the quest will be over. But I'll fall. I can't reach it. Don't you want to save Nanami? Don't hurt me, please. Just let me go. I don't want to die. Remember what happened this afternoon. With your power, if you fall, you just create another flower bed. You can fall and not die.
自信ある
Are you confident you can do that? Sadatan whispered to me mischievously.
タ
Confident?
ッキーがここから落
It
ち
wouldn't even take 3 seconds for you to hit the ground.
その間に
You have 3 seconds to make another flower bed appear.
タッキーが
Could you do that?
今まで一度も
You've never been able to use that power deliberately, right?
使ったことないっしょ。
That's right. Even if I did have that power, I didn't know how to use
ね
it.
え、逃げよう。
Let's run away, okay?
よくやったよ。
You did great.
でもこれ以上は
But you can't stay here anymore. You know what? No delusion.
死にたくない。
You don't want to die, right? But Nanami.
どうせ生意気な
She's a little
人だからさ。
ass anyway.
ここでタッキーが
Even if you somehow managed to save her here, she probably wouldn't even thank you, would she? The truth of what Saratan had stopped me in my tracks. The truth? She was right. Even if I saved Nanami, I knew exactly what she'd say. This only happened to me because of you, fucking ass. She wouldn't be grateful. She'd just be mean. I'd spent the rest of my life with my whole family hating me. I'd spend the rest of my life. I'd spent the rest of my life with my whole family hating me. I'd spend the rest of my life with my whole family hating me. At the end of the day, she was just my little sister. She wasn't Moe. She wasn't pretty. More like a 2D character. She was always looking down on me. She was secretly, no, openly making fun of me. Whatever happened to that bitch wasn't my problem. I'd rather say bitch than brat. I'm sorry. But I risked my life I could risk my life for Sedaton. But not her. Nigga. We're gonna get into that in a little bit.
タッキー。
Taki, just think about yourself, okay?
私はさ
I don't want you to die.
こうして
I want to keep talking with you like this, inside your head forever. I want that too. Talking to Sedaton was what made me happiest. What happened to Nanami didn't matter. Don't back away. I don't want to die. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to die. I don't want to disappear. I don't care at all what happens to Nanami. I kept whispering words that I was trying to make myself believe in. There was one person who was right, and it wasn't Shogun, it was Sedaton. That sword, it looks like a sword, but it's not. It's a reflection of my of light, my eyes playing tricks.
そうだよ。
That's right, now let's go home.
帰ったら
When you get home, I'll let you stare at my panties and have all kinds of naughty delusions. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going to go home and jerk off to Sedaton. That's right. We're gonna go home and jerk off to Sedaton.
嬉しいな。
We're going back to the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu.
タッキーのために
I'll make all kinds of naughty poses for you. So they pulled back my hand. Doing so made me feel so much better. Took the Sedaton figurine out of my pocket and stared at her smile. Sedaton was okay with what I was doing. That was all that mattered. Wiped the snot from my nose, turned around and walked toward Shogun. We told you that you can move.
クエストは
You haven't finished your quest. I'm not a hero. I'm just a loser. A creepy otaku who can't even save his sister. I don't have any hopes for me. Don't look at me. Just leave me alone.
ではナナミちゃんは
I'll have to kill Nanami then. She's already dead anyway. She was already dead. Shogun had killed her in some horrible way. It would probably be the top story on the news tomorrow. The 6th Nugent case. It was sad, but I couldn't do anything about it. Her head's not there anymore, is it?
お兄
Big brother. My brother! What I heard sounded like dripping water, but it wasn't water. It was Nanami's blood. It was bright red blood from her severed
なん
wrist.
で
Why didn't you save
お
me?
兄お
Brother.
兄って
Brother, you're
最低
the worst. Ah! Scream. Damn you, 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 damn you. The whole world turned red. My mind went blank with rage, sorrow, and helplessness, and I charged into Shogun at full speed. I grabbed the figure hidden in the shadows, but my hand passed through thin air. And I collapsed onto the wheelchair. I must have hit my elbow because it was stinging from the pain. I winced around and looked for the person in the wheelchair. There was a severed head rolling at my feet. Suddenly I picked it. Oh, it's not me, isn't it? Some kind of helmet. This is a black helmet.
ダーススパイダー。